morning or afternoon, technically. It's the 2nd of May, 2020. I'm Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle. Gone by a few different names, etc. So I'm going to continue on with the second book of Nephi, chapter 16, and reading and whatnot of the like, and a little bit of commentary of the Book of Mormon, which it is really ironic because, okay, before I start, I have found certain things to be quite ironic when it comes to the Book of Mormon and the aspects of Angel Moroni's Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, founded by Reverend Joseph Smith, or Prophet Joseph Smith. So like there are these points where it has letters, and they all start with "to whom it may concern," and it's just one of those, like a lot of over the years when I was sending mail and letters and emails about my children, and I mean that in various ways. I mean in regards to my son and my daughter, when the issues in regards to their biological father, my dead ex-husband, their dead father, because of different aspects with the memorial service. And then as I went up the chain of command, and these letters were in reference to at the point of having reached, had already gone to the JAG office as well as the garrison commander office. And so those emails didn't really start until once I got to the brigade, or the BAMC, or Brooke Army Medical Center, or now San Antonio Medical Center of Joint Base Lewis McChord, but at Fort Sam Houston, his office. After getting to his office was when I started actually sending out emails in regards to a lot of different points. And however, before then, in regards to what happened with the Homeowners Association, which was well before then, and in specific the truck accident, the Datsun truck accident, my emails I would address to other people to whom it may concern. And it was just kind of weird when I read that. And then a few different aspects of the timeline for Joseph Smith, and how he had to put a bunch of stuff together as far as that was concerned, and how he didn't get all of the documents until one point in time, all in one like little kit and caboodle, in certain aspects of his past. It was just a little bit interesting. And then like the aspects of different prophetic points, and then even including like there's been a few outfits that I've worn, and depending on which interpretation, you could almost consider that as like the vision of Angel Moroni coming through, because of the whiteness of the outfits. And I don't think those pictures were photoshopped, if I'm not mistaken. Like some of them, the ones with the white dresses or white outfits, there was a white gown that I had worn in a couple pictures, and then like a Sailor Moon-ish type of outfit, and then a few others that had like white, and the color was white. However, like whenever the photography actually was completed of those particular outfits was like whiter than white. And then the whole, girdle corsetry type of thing, like for the one particular dress. And then the fact that I like corsets. And then, he did, bring up certain points in regards to feminine aspects. However, the founding mothers and the founding fathers of the United States of America, they knew that there was going to be a day. That's why they planned certain things the way they did, as far as constitutional rights and bills of amendments and even the Declaration of Independence and a few other original historical writings that were intended for not only the time that they were in, but for future generations. And they saw specifically, the founding mothers, because of certain aspects, they wanted to ensure the freedoms that were intended, to grow with the times, but they knew that there would be essentially the coming of the Messiah, like the one true Messiah, and it's just one of those weird things. When I was reading the actual physical Book of Mormon when I was in Tacoma, it's just one of those. But anyway, so chapter 16 of 2 Nephi. Isaiah sees the divine. Isaiah's sins are forgiven and is called to prophecy, and prophecies of the rejection by the Jews of Christ's teaching. A remnant will return. Compare Isaiah 6, about 559 to 545 BC before Christ. In the year that King Uzziah died, isn't that weird? Because wasn't there an Uzi that I wound up getting a message from on Facebook, a Ruby Uzi or something like that, that was with, like, what was it, her boyfriend or whatever, and they were drinking Loco something or another. That's kind of weird with the name Uzi. And because it was U as in uniform, Z as in Zulu, Z as in Zulu, I as in indigo. And in this, it's referring to with an A as in alpha, H as in hotel. Afterwards, like, but just kind of ironic on that, just a bit. Anyway, in the year that King Uzziah died, saw the divine sitting upon a throne high and lifted up, and the train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphim, each one had 6 wings, with the twain covering the face, and with the twain covering the feet, and with the twain did fly. Which, ironically, that one particular dress, the white one, and I was in a tree, I climbed that tree all by myself. I did, and I didn't even have shoes on. Like when I did the tree climbing, when at the 4 Trump protest with the apple, I had shoes on. But for that one with the white dress, I didn't have shoes on because I was afraid that the shoes that I had would not handle that. So I climbed that tree all by myself without any shoes. And that photographer, Casey Romansky, he was already... So I had to pause because it was funny. So he was already kind of like, that's Constantine wire, because that's the same photo shoot where I had the green dress on and I was in the Constantine wire. And I know it's Constantine wire. That'll make a great photo shoot. Come on. He's like, you're so excited to do that. Why not? I mean, come on. What's the big deal? It's just Constantine wire. It's a little sharp, but as long as I don't, fall, it'll be okay. And but that's dangerous. Watch this. See? And you just, okay, take a picture. Get out of there, get out of there right now. Oh, but like I can do so much more. No, get out. Oh, okay. Constantine wire is used for? Yes. In certain ways, yes. It doesn't change the fact that there's so many. I can take another picture and do so many other things. No, get away from that. Oh my God, get away from the Constantine wire. I'm sure those are words that photographer never thought he'd ever have to say to a model. Probably that those were probably words he never ever thought he would have to say was get away from the Constantine wire. No, I don't want to take any more pictures of you modeling in the Constantine wire. And then having a debate about it. But I could do other things. No. So that'd be so cool. No. You have to be so mean. Yeah, if it's mean to care about your safety, get away from the Constantine. But there's a get away from, don't look at it, but it's shiny. No. Well, yes it is. It is shiny. And so then afterwards when I changed into the white dress and we were walking out of this one area, I was like, oh, I can climb the tree. Since you won't let me take any more modeling pictures in the Constantine wire. And before he could say anything, I kicked off my heels, climbed up the tree, and he was just, well, I guess I'll take a picture of you since you're already up in the tree. Okay, fine. It actually kind of looks it kind of looks okay. It's like, which it kind of looked like a girdle, that gown, because it had a little ruching right here and had a deep V neck, kind of like this. And it had ties. It kind of had a miniature train, and it wasn't. Just saying. It would. Anyway. And I did fly up that tree because, yeah, where I got to, yeah, that was, there were no branches below it for me to, I literally, I got it. Right here, come on. How did you get up there? And one cried out to another and said, holy, holy, holy is the divine of hosts. The whole earth is full of the glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then I said, woe is unto me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people with unclean lips, and mine eyes have seen the King, the divine of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in hand, which had taken with the tongs from off the altar, and laid it upon my mouth, and said, lo, this has touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Also I heard the voice of the divine saying, whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? Then I said, here I am, send me. And said, go and tell the people, hear ye indeed, but they understood not, and see ye indeed, but they perceived not. Make the heart of the people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and be converted, and be healed. Then I said, divine, how long? And said, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, and the divine have removed men far away, for there shall be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet there shall be a tenth, and they that shall return shall be eaten as a teil tree, and as an oak whose substance is in them when they cast their leaves, so holy seed shall be the substance thereof. Which, if you think about it, that feminization of males with that millennial stuff. Not all millennials, I'll clarify that, but that feminization of so many males, I mean, And I'm not talking about when in adult alone time. And I am not talking about the LGBTQP community, by the way. I'm talking about heterosexual or hetero-flexible males that are so wimpified and so type, you know, like I'm just, and again, not in the adult sort of way, but in the, they are so whiny and such crybabies over little things, not even things that are actually of importance, but you know, like I mean, like, for example, I'm only going to read this particular chapter, obviously, of 2 Nephi. Like, for example, when I was in Tacoma and walking with my now ex-boyfriend, Jesse Leroy Hoover Jr., 2 different situations. One, before the Tacoma part, where, oh, can you, like, go, it literally, Jesse had asked me to go into the gas station that he, as an adult male, was too afraid to go into because of 2 little boys that were biologically men, fine, whatever, but that were wearing actual gold chains standing outside of a gas station and looked menacing. And it was one of those I mean, I'll take care of that. That's not a problem. But realistically, why are you such a... Okay. And his excuse was, well, you know where you grew up. Yeah, I know where I grew up, and I can tell you right now, those 2 little boys right there, nothing to worry about. And I mean, realistically, and then there was a guy who came out of, I wish I had a camera. I realize now I had my cell phone, which is a little bit late. But this guy comes out after, like, paying for the gas, after I had to walk my boyfriend at the time, Jesse Leroy Hoover Jr., into the bathroom. So there you go. And we were in the car and about ready to leave, and this big, really tall guy walks out, and he kind of almost looked like, what was it, one of the guys that people had rioted over for certain things, but not fully. And he walks out, and the 2 little white boys to that guy look at him and go, yo, 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 you got some change to spare? And he looks at them, he's like, psh, get a job. And I was like, oh, oh, kisses, hearts. Great. So beautiful. So bravo and bravo. Bravo and bravo. That was greatness. You tell those little white boys, you are so awesome. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Like, you're awesome. Great. Yay. I want to high five you, but I don't want to bother you, but you are so great. That was great. Mwah, mwah. And my now ex-boyfriend, the boyfriend looks at me and goes, that was funny, but not that funny. And it's like, yeah, no. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. By a lot. I'm a fan. It's great. High five. So cool. Like, you tell those little white boys. Like, all he needed to do is be like, and boom. Greatness. So awesome. And then the 2 little white boys got all scared. They're all, yo, that's not cool. That's the coolest. Like, and then there's that feminization of like little whiny complaining stuff, and yeah. And so then the other situation, which there had been a few others, there had been quite a few situations, However, the one where walking with my now ex-boyfriend, which by the way, I was walking on the side of where like the street was on the other side of the on the side there, so there was a sidewalk and then there's a street and then I'm walking on the outside, and just saying, chivalry apparently didn't exist in that regard. So nonetheless, looking, and there's like the TV, and it should have taken Henry to figure certain things out, and my now ex-boyfriend laughed. And then this little boy, biologically an adult with a little man bun, which is an oxymoron, in my opinion. That is an oxymoron for a man bun. For it to be called a man bun, I am sure that there are actual males who can, pull that off. They're probably not such whiny little babies, though, like this one who had come up. What do you think people who have head injuries would think about how you just made fun of them? Well, I had a head injury, so I'm technically making fun of myself. Just saying. And the little boy, adult male, with a man bun. I'm just going to pause that real quick and say that, where I grew up going to, in different areas when living in New Jersey, females, when they fought, usually grabbed another female's hair. And so a man bun makes that real easy. Like, that boy got so upset, and it's like, you don't know, like, I could have fought dirty. Like, I could have grabbed you by your little man bun and just, like, gone old school on you. Like, real old school, real quick. I'm just saying. And so that little boy threw this temper tantrum, and, how do you think people with head injuries would feel about... Well, what if, hypothetically, I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, and I'm not going to go through I'm going to go through each individual one, but each individual time, for each one of the hypotheticals, he would well, I guess I could allow you to say that. That's that. Just saying. So, hypothetically, if I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. Hypothetically, if I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 during basic training. Hypothetically, if I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 during basic training for the United States of America's Armed Forces Army Branch. Hypothetically, if I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 during basic training for the Armed Forces in the Army Branch and had a coma. Hypothetically, I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 during basic training for the United States of America's Armed Forces Army Branch, had a coma, and was medevaced to Fort Sam Houston. Hypothetically, had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 with coma, subarachnoid hemorrhage in the frontal lobe of my brain, medevac. Hypothetically, if I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, where a drill sergeant threw me into the metal part of the bunk, and that's how I had the head injury. Each and every one of these, and then, including with each one like that, then, headaches, migraines, memory deficits, cognitive disorders, went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math. Like, each individual one with all of the precursors with it. I guess I could give you permission. And then, I cannot be the only person that would be like, I want to grab you by your head. And so, he got all butthurt, and then at the very end of all those, 20, 30 questions that were all basically the same, just with additional points on them. So, since I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, during basic training where a drill sergeant threw me into the metal part of a bunk, had a subarachnoid hemorrhage in the frontal lobe of my brain, which, did some damage, and I was in a coma before being medevaced from Fort Sill, Oklahoma to Fort Sam, Houston, where, I woke up from that coma and then afterwards found out that I deal with headaches and migraines and memory deficits and cognitive disorders. And I went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math. Unlike you, little boy, who did not actually apparently do anything worthwhile for the maintenance of your expression, which is guaranteed to you by the United States Constitution for the United States of America, unlike myself, which I actually signed the dotted line and actually did what I could to actually not only defend my constitutional rights, but those of and throughout the United States of America. I really do not appreciate you attempting to tell me, you sexist, white privileged little boy, because I also brought up the fact that I'm half Chinese, half everything else crawled underneath the fence, so I called him, racist for that, for trying to oppress me. And then, went down, I went down the list, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I literally watched that white boy. I didn't think he could get any whiter. I mean, he was already white, but it was like, where'd you go? You're almost translucent, boy. Like, wow. All I see is your little man bun. And, and I just lit into him. Now, my now ex-boyfriend, he was hiding in an alley. He felt more comfortable in an alleyway than in downtown Tacoma than he did, like, being a man and defending me instead of me having to defend myself. And so, afterwards, that little boy was just, I don't like what you said to me. I don't give a damn. I'm done. I just walked off. That's right. I did that. I have no idea if anybody videotaped that. I mean, I get there are security cameras and stuff like that. But yeah, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that boy. And it was one of those, that's right, well, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be a whiny little titty baby and try to tell me how to speak. I actually did stuff in comparison to you, little boy. And so, yeah, I did that. Though, because it was Washington State, you could not see, these tattoos or that one or any of those. I think at that time I had not started waxing the sides yet, but, still the same bright red hair color and my face. And so I didn't have makeup on. I think I might have had lipstick and that was it. If I even had lipstick on. That was me. And I did that probably knowing myself. I probably lit a cigarette before. Probably just it. And I'm about to begin. But in that regard, where, it's one of those, with who I was with at the time, who was my boyfriend, my now ex-boyfriend, where was the manliness beyond the biology there? And as far as the boy who showed up that wanted to be all, you want to buck at me, I don't know what females you're accustomed to, but I am not one of those. And, and then what type of, if he was with a female, what type of female are you with that would support you in speaking to another female like that? And that, and the people that were in the vicinity, they started, and then they just turned, they started walking to where, up behind, and then they saw what was going on, they just went, no, she gonna hurt them. I'm gonna see what she's gonna do. I watch people cross to the other side of the street. And we're like, nope, I'm not doing, nope. Nope, and they were, some of them were males, some of them were females. Just nope. I'm going to use this. I'll go all the way and extra. I'll cross the street to go to the other side of the road, walk down that side, go to the next cross street intersection to then go up. He goes, nope, she gonna hurt him. She gonna hurt him good. She gonna mess him up. And ooh, look, he got his soul devoured right in for just. Woo! Never thought I'd see that, but damn. At least that's what I thought I heard from some people. And then it'd be funny if there was a certain somebody that I had known at a particular point in time that, here, I made you. Here. And if he was... because he would very much, I could just see him giggling, being like, you don't know, but she just, and he wouldn't laugh like that at all. But it'd just be funny, because I could just kind of see, like, how do I hold the camera still? How do I not laugh? Because, ooh, that's like an air assault of a laughter, right? A little uppercut, but verbally. And then, just, whoa! Just spin around, kick, and just get him upside the head. Then just, and furthermore, I am easily entertained. But if he was not in the particular vicinity, other people being of the exact same way, be like, ooh, she told, oh, because of where I grew up going to. I could very much see people that I knew when I was growing up in New Jersey, but going to the 5 boroughs of New York and different areas in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh specifically. Like, I could just, like, envision them going, oh, and oh, no, ooh, rewind that, ooh, she just, and there goes, and the metaphorical kick in between the legs, and there she just castrated that boy, not like there was anything there to begin with, and just, like the people that I knew growing up and hanging out with, like, I could very much see them being like, no, and that is, and especially since one of my favorite video games playing as a child, Mortal Kombat, and somebody go, like, I can imagine somebody going in and be like, KO! And the winner is the little itty redhead. Who just knocked him out, like, just knocked him out, like, picked him metaphorically up, threw him in the air, spun him around a bunch of times while punching him, and then just, and spike, whether volleyball or nothing but net, swish. Didn't even hit the backboard, just nice little arc and boom. Or for football, goal! Just saying, touchdown. And she spikes the ball. Literally and figuratively. And I'm going to end this particular video broadcast. You guys have the